Hey guys, welcome back. This is Tarun again, back with yet another information video for you folks. So, in this video, I want to cover one very controversial subject here. A subject which, again, it's been hidden. Nobody wants to talk about it. But here, this video is about information, and I'm going to share that information with you folks. And what is that information that I'm talking about here? I'm talking about testosterone. Everybody, and there is this thing about youngsters, there is this thing about people, they feel that, taking the steroid route can actually help them pack on muscle, can actually help them lose weight, because I've been getting too many queries from people asking me that, Tarun, can I take X drug or can I take testosterone to lose weight? I have chest fat, or I have, fat on my belly, and I'm thinking of taking testosterone because apparently, as per the research on the internet, testosterone has the least amount of side effects compared to the other host of other steroids available in the market. So what's your take on it? So in this video, I want to talk about testosterone, what testosterone is, what has been my experience with testosterone, and what are the major side effects of testosterone, what are the side effects that I faced when I took testosterone, and what can you expect if you were to kind of externally inject testosterone into your body. So this video should be of help to you when it comes to information. So let's talk about testosterone. So what exactly test, in the bodybuilding or the fitness industry is usually called test or testa. So what exactly testa is? Testa is nothing but obviously, a synthetic testosterone hormone, which is obviously injected externally. You'll be surprised that there are also some oral testosterone available, and all these test options, be it injectable or your orals, are prescription based, which means you can only get them via prescription, and they are available at a pharmacist or chemist anywhere in India. So all you need is a doctor's prescription, or at times you don't even need that, but again, it needs to be administered. So because there are tests, they've been given to people who are low on testosterone, or probably bodybuilders or athletes, they want to use this as a performance enhancement drug so that it can give them that extra edge in that particular sport. But in bodybuilding, testa is like the base compound of every steroid cycle. It has to be used, because what typically happens with test now, if you were to take test, what will happen? Obviously, if you were to go back to your childhood, let's say you were 12, 13, 14 years old, suddenly there was a splurge of height and bone, and suddenly you became muscular, or you started developing little muscle on your body. Why did it happen? It's because the splurge of testosterone in your body, because a guy, because it's a male hormone, it usually starts kicking in at the age of 12 to 13 years, and because your body is loading with testosterone at the age of 13, by the time you hit puberty, 18 to 19, testosterone level are at its peak. So that's why you have increased height, increased sex drive, everything is at its peak because of this splurge of testosterone into your body. But as we begin to age, when we start reaching in our 30s and 40s, the testosterone levels in our body begins to dip. And that's why, if you've seen my previous videos, I've talked about taking some test boosters, natural test booster, which includes shilajit, ashwagandha, which can actually help you bring up those test levels so that you start packing on more muscle. But this test is very different than ashwagandha or shilajit, because this is actually a hormone that you're injecting. It's actually a steroid. That's why it's called a steroid, because it's artificial. Now, if you were to take it, what can you expect out of testosterone? Now, obviously, because you're injecting it externally, you are stopping your own natural production of testosterone into your body, which means now your body is solely relying on this external substance, which is testosterone. And then testosterone comes in different forms. Typically there are 4 to 5 forms of testosterone available. One is called test prop, or proponate is what we call it, but in American it's propionate or something like that it's called, but in India we call it test prop or test proponate. Then you have test sioponate, you have test enanthate, then you have cestanol. Cestanol is nothing but a blend of all testosterone put together, and these are typically the 4 tests available in the market. But are they same? Obviously not. They are very, very different. Like, for example, testosterone is obviously a short ester, which means it has to be injected every other day, because it has a very short shelf life. The other one, the ceoponate, enanthate, and testosterone, those are more of bulking cycles. Because they have to be used like twice or maximum 3 times a week. So those cycles can be run for over 12 to 16 weeks as well. So that's pretty much a difference between different forms of test. Now, if you were to try any of these tests, like for example, if your goal is to lose weight and you're thinking that, hey, you know what, I'm going to try out test, it's going to make me lose weight. Test is linked with because more testosterone will lead to some body fat, loss of body fat, but significantly you'll not feel any much of a difference. So what will happen if you were to start taking testosterone? Obviously, as I said, your body will slowly start relying on this external product. 2, your natural production of testosterone will come to a halt. 3, there'll be an increased sex drive. Obviously you will feel a little more aggression in your workouts. Plus, but the downside I'm going to talk about now. The moment you stop taking testosterone, your body will take about good 2 to 3 weeks to come back to its normal testosterone production. Because you were relying on this external substance, now body will take 2 to 3 weeks, and that's where your PCT, post-cycle therapy, comes into action. That's why I always tell you guys that if you don't know much about steroids, don't even experiment, because post-cycle therapy is very, very important, because that cycle, that PCT, will help you bring back your testosterone levels where they were earlier, rather than if you were to just take test and don't do PCT at all, you're inviting trouble, which means let's say your test levels were at 100 before taking test. Now after taking test, your test levels will go somewhere between 500 to 600. Now what will happen is, the moment you stop taking test because your cycle will conclude or you'll stop taking it, now your test levels won't come back to 100. The test level will come back to 50 or 40. That's why it becomes very, very important for you to do PCTs, so that at least it comes back to 100 or 150. That's why, guys, it's important for you to get into this whole PCT mode anyways. But my recommendation, my experience with test is because I have a chest fat. I've had chest fat. If you have any gyno, or if you have issues with your chest, you feel that your chest is heavier, I would urge all of you to stay away from test or any steroid for that matter, because what will happen is it will only aggravate it further. Any androgen, which includes your test or anything to do with any bulking agent, will actually make your chest even worse. Plus, the other downside of test is that obviously you can develop acne, you can develop a lot of skin issues with your testosterone, because obviously it is increasing, developing heat in your body. So chances of you even losing hair are also a lot higher. If you're wondering, if I'm losing hair, I'm not losing hair. It's just that my family, my dad is semi-bald, so that's the reason I'm at a stage wherein obviously I'm going to be thinning out some hair in there, but that's cool. So if you have male baldness pattern in your family, stay away from steroid, especially test, guys. And I keep telling you that steroid is not the right way to go about it, and especially testosterone. But if you were to try anything when it comes to steroids, testosterone is a must. It has to be at a base level, otherwise you're inviting trouble when it comes to your sex drive, or when it comes to your libido levels. So guys, test is a must if you want to take anything. But if you're not taking anything, guys, I would urge you not to even touch steroids, especially test. And a standalone test cycle won't be of any help to you. All it'll just increase some strength here and there, but it would not be of any help to anyone. So I hope this test, my experience of testosterone, and the side effects and what things it can do to you came of help to you. Any one of you who have any questions around test or anything around it, feel free to reach out to me on my YouTube, Facebook, or even on my Instagram. I'm running this whole information-based series, guys, for you to make an informed decision about these drugs. So my last video was about HGH peptides, where I talked about it, and I've also done some videos on steroids, sharing my experience with stanozolol and debol, and what it can do. In future also I'll keep updating these videos for a fact that because it's important for you to know from actually a user what actually goes on, and what exactly happens when you were to take it, rather than you reading on the internet and just probably making a wild guess. So I hope this information comes in handy to you. So until we meet again, peace.